Pew Research Center study says now 1 in 10 restaurants in the U.S. serve Mexican food. Across the country, 85% of counties have at least one Mexican restaurant. California and Texas have the most. If you eat at these 9 popular Mexican chains, you might be biting off more than you can chew. You may want to finish this video before you finish your burrito, because once you hear what these kitchens are hiding, your appetite might just disappear faster than free chips and salsa. Today, we'll expose 9 Mexican chains you must avoid and 2 that are actually safe to eat. Starting off with the number 9, we have Chipotle Mexican Grill, the assembly line burrito that promises fresh ingredients, but delivers a history of how quickly fresh can turn deadly. There was a time when Chipotle felt new and honest. You could see the line cooks, pick your fillings, and watch the burrito get built in front of you. It felt transparent, it felt better than the drive-thru, but those headlines about outbreaks changed the mood. The brand had multiple incidents tied to foodborne illness that left customers wary. Beyond the scares, the whole experience started to wobble. Smaller protein portions in some locations, varying seasoning, and prices that climb toward the point where a single burrito can cost as much as a casual sit-down meal. Former employees have admitted that during rush hours, it was normal to skip temperature checks completely just to keep the line moving. One whistleblower from Colorado said, "We'd serve rice that had been sitting out for hours because management told us speed was more important than safety." For many people, that memory sticks. Even when a chain overhauls its procedures, bad headlines don't vanish. They sit in the back of minds when customers decide whether to order that fresh bowl. Trust is fragile. When your brand stitches part of its identity to openness and safety, a safety lapse is a harder fall. Next, the portion problem. Walk into one Chipotle, and you get a burrito packed to the brim with steak and guac. Walk into another, and you're left hunting for protein between tablespoons of rice. That inconsistency is the silent killer of a fast casual brand. People go back when they get the same solid meal every time. When the portion swings, you feel shortchanged. And when a guacamole add-on can nearly double the price, the math of value gets ugly for seniors and families on a budget. Flavor inconsistency is the other side of the coin. Some locations nail the smoky charred edge on the carne asada. Others hand you meat that tastes like it lost its way before it reached the tortilla. Salsas vary from vibrant to timid. The open kitchen model can hide a lot of small decisions. A new cook who underseasons, a manager tightening portions, a peak hour moment where quality control slips. Those are human problems, but when they repeat, they look like a pattern. Have you ever had a Chipotle bowl that felt like a masterpiece? Or one that felt like it was missing half the protein? Share the location and your order. Want the truth behind your favorite chains? Subscribe now, before your next late night run costs more than money. Coming in at number 8, we've got Del Taco, the hybrid chain that tries to do both tacos and burgers and sometimes manages to do neither well. Del Taco's menu is a strange, useful mix. Tacos, burritos, burgers, fries, and shakes. In theory, that's smart. In practice, it's a branding identity problem. When you split your focus between 2 kitchens, one for Mexican-style items and one for burgers, the result can be 2 middling menus instead of one standout one. You end up with tacos that feel like they were built by a burger chain and burgers that feel like they were designed by a taqueria. Texture is where Del Taco often trips. Taco shells can arrive either stale or soggy. A staler shell snaps too hard. A soggy shell collapses into a mess. When the shell fails, the taco fails. Fillings swing between bland and greasy with shredded lettuce and cheese piled high to mask the thin layer of meat. Burritos can come across as rice-heavy, with protein playing a supporting role. For a chain that should center on flavor, that's a problem. The burger side is competent but not compelling. If you want a burger that rivals a dedicated burger joint, Del Taco won't be your first choice. If you want a taco that honors its roots, Del Taco sometimes misses the mark. The chain ends up in an awkward middle ground where it's convenient and sometimes satisfying, but rarely the highlight of a food day. To its credit, Del Taco has loyal customers who love its crinkle fries and the odd combo of items you can't get elsewhere. There's value in convenience and variety, but if your priority is authentic Mexican flavors or a truly great burger, Del Taco is a compromise. Do you order tacos or burgers at Del Taco, and which item always surprises you in a good or bad way? Arriving at number 7, we've got Qdoba Mexican Eats. The alternative to the burrito giants that often plays it safe and fades into the background. Qdoba started as an option for people who wanted a Chipotle-like experience with a few extras. For a while, the promise mattered. Free quesos and guac included in some deals, a solid line of fillings, and menu items that offered variety. Over time, the gap between promise and plate widened. Qdoba's flavors can land as bland where boldness is expected. Rice sometimes has a gummy mouth feel, meats can be undursted, salsas lack a punch. In the crowded, fast casual world, mildness isn't an advantage, it's a liability. One common complaint is that Qdoba rarely surprises. Where Torches or local taqueras build a taco that tells a story, Qdoba hands you an even generic bite. That predictability is comforting for some, but boring for many. In a world where people seek unique flavors and memorable bites, being merely serviceable won't win new fans. Portion and value have also drifted. When prices climb toward those of competitors, customers expect either a better portion or a better taste. If you don't deliver either, the choice becomes obvious. For families or seniors budgeting a meal out, that math matters a lot. To be fair, Qdoba's staff at certain locations still run tight kitchens that produce solid meals. The chain also has menu items that hit when built with care, but the brand lacks the consistent excitement of a standout operator. If you want safe and forgettable, Qdoba will deliver. If you want bold and memorable, you'll likely look elsewhere. When you pick Qdoba, do you play it safe or try something new off the menu? Which item surprised you? In a category where flavor should be the star, being forgettable is its own kind of failure. Qdoba offers a predictable meal, and predictability is fine when it's great. When it's merely passable, it won't keep your loyalty. Now, moving to number 6, Moe's Southwest Grill. The place that greets you like a concert and sometimes serves food that feels like an encore nobody asked for. Walk in and you get that full volume welcome to Moe's energy. It's fun once, twice, maybe. By the 10th time, it can feel like the mask the brand uses while the kitchen does its own thing. The problem isn't just the noise. Over the last several years, Mo has turned up in local health inspection reports for issues that matter: mold buildup on soda nozzles and ice machines, cleanliness items that inspectors ask staff to correct on the spot, and reports of managers or certified food personnel not being present during inspections. Those are the kinds of records that shift Moe's from quirky burrito place to check the inspection site before you eat. Now, for the plate, Moe's has the usual fast casual build-your-own setup: rice, beans, meat, salsa. When it's done right, a burrito can be bright and satisfying. When it's done wrong, rice can be dry, meat under-seasoned, and salsa watery. Customer posts and review feeds show swings between best burrito and my rice was hard as a pebble. That kind of inconsistency is a loyalty killer. One site's customers rave about a perfect bowl. Another's complain about cold food and missed items. And both could be the same brand on different days. That's not just about taste. It's about whether staff are trained, supervised, and given the time to do basic checks. Imagine that loud greeting, then cutting into a burrito that feels like it was assembled in a rush by someone who forgot to taste the fillings. The soundtrack's still great, your meal not so much. Did you ever open a Moe's burrito and think, this is either amazing or a crime against rice? Tell us where and what you ordered. Moe's is fun on the surface, but when inspections show mold near drink lines and managers aren't always present, fun becomes a reason to check the inspection record first. Coming in at number 5, Taco John's. Known for those addictive potato oles, loved by many, but a place where the main act sometimes feels like an afterthought. If you're a potato ole fan, you get it. Those little fried potato rounds can be crisp, salty, and dunkable in cheese or salsa. For plenty of regulars, that side carries Taco John's. The problem is when the side outshines the core product. Customer reviews and local threads show that tacos and burritos often land bland or greasy, with shells that can be stale or soggy. That imbalance makes many folks admit they only stop by for the potatoes and nostalgia, not because the tacos are worth the trip. There's a bigger issue than nostalgia: inconsistency. Yelp pages and local review threads swing from best Taco John's to never again. Some locations nail it, others fall flat. Crusty taco shells one day, limp shells the next. Meat that tastes fine at one location can be greasy and underseasoned at another. That level of unpredictability means you're still gambling, and the bet isn't always worth the price, especially for seniors or families on a budget. Why does the chain slip? For mid-sized regional brands, the gap between top stores and weak ones comes from training and supply consistency. If managers aren't enforcing portioning and prep routines, or if turnover runs high, the tacos suffer. The product that people fondly remember from road trips becomes a memory, not a repeatable meal. You'll see Yelp snapshots of great orders and angry threads where customers call out wrong items or stale shells. That split says the brand can be hit or miss depending on where you go. Are you a potato oles loyalist who forgives everything for those tater rounds? Or do you avoid Taco John's unless the potatoes are involved? Tell us your take. When the side dish is the star and the tacos are an inconsistent supporting act, it's time to ask whether the chain still deserves the stop. Landing at number 4 on the border, the sit-down chain that used to wow with sizzling fajitas, but now shows too many nights where the sizzle fades before hitting the table. There was a time when on the border meant a lively dining room, a skillet arriving to the table still steaming, and a plate that felt like a small celebration. These days, multiple customer reports and review sites flag inconsistent cooking and service problems, fajitas arriving lukewarm, sides that taste like reheats, and chips that can be stale. For a sit-down restaurant, these are glaring misses because customers expect more time and care than a quick drive through. When you pay for an experience, it should feel like one. Look through TripAdvisor and Yelp, and you'll find both defenders and critics. The defenders talk about fun margaritas and generous portions. The critics call out long waits, inattentive service, and meals that arrived colder than they should. That split shows the brand can still deliver, but only at well-run locations. The risk is that you can't tell which one you'll get without local knowledge or recent reviews. For older guests who remember the better days, the decline is especially noticeable and disappointing. Operational issues often show up as simple signs. Long gaps between courses, servers appearing overloaded, or managers absent when tables pile up. Where on the border used to feel like a well-rehearsed show, some locations now feel understaffed and reactive. Social posts and Reddit threads even discuss billing errors and excuses used during busy shifts. That's not a one-off complaint. It signals how a system responds when under pressure. If the kitchen can't time a skillet's sear to the server's route, the fajitas land flat. Imagine the sizzle arriving as a whisper, the steam long gone, a skillet that looks empty beside your expectations. That's the kind of dinner that makes you rethink returning. Did you ever get fajitas that actually arrived sizzling and worth the fanfare? Or have you seen the sizzle replaced by a lukewarm slab? Share the city and your memory. On the Border still has nights that pop, but when the food and service wobble, a planned night out can end up feeling like a missed rehearsal. Check recent reviews before you book. Coming in at number 3, Chevy's Fresh Match, a brand that built its name on fresh ingredients and mosque white flavor, but has lost ground where it counts on the plate. Chevy's once felt like a